President of Haiti assassinated today, according to Haiti's interim Prime Minister Claude Joseph. The President Jovenel Moise, aged 53, has been killed in an attack on his home in the nation's capital. The president's home in Port-au-Prince was stormed by unidentified armed men at 1 o'clock local time, 5 o'clock GMT. First Lady Martine Moïse was injured in the attack and is hospitalized now. He said that the president was fatally shot in the heinous, inhuman and barbaric act, and called for the public to remain calm. The president had been in power since February 2017, after his predecessor, Michel Martelly, stepped down. The president was accused of corruption. His rule had often violent anti-government protests. People demanded his resignation. There were widespread protests in the capital and other cities earlier this year. Opposition leaders have accused the president of seeking to increase his power, including approving a decree that limited the powers of a court that audits government contracts and another that created an intelligence agency that answers only to the president. Haiti's opposition said that Mr. Moise's 5-year term should have ended on 7 February 2021. 5 years to the day since Mr. Martelly stepped down. Mr. Moise, however, insisted that he had one more year to serve as he did not take office until 7 February 2017. He had been ruling by decree for more than 2 years after the country failed to hold elections, which led to parliament being dissolved. There were allegations of electoral fraud which eventually saw the result of the 2015 election being annulled and fresh polls being held, which were won by Mr. Moise. Chronic instability, dictatorships and natural disasters have left Haiti as one of the poorest nations in the Americas. The country has more than 11 million population. Haiti's economic, political and social woes have deepened recently. 60% of the population makes less than $2 a day. Some of the attackers spoke in English and Spanish. Haiti was scheduled to hold general elections later this year. In addition to the political crisis, kidnappings for ransom have surged in recent months, further reflecting the growing influence of armed gangs in the Caribbean nation. The president has churned through a series of 7 prime ministers in 4 years. Most recently, Joseph was supposed to be replaced this week after only 3 months in the post. The constitution currently in force was written in 1987 after the fall of the Duvalier dictatorship and declares that any popular consultation aimed at modifying the constitution by referendum is formally prohibited. The United Nations Security Council, the United States and Europe have called for free and transparent legislative and presidential elections to be held by the end of 2021. Reports the BBC, Reuters, Indian Express, NDTV and the Times of India.